Here's episode number 3. Our guest is Bill Sartor from Sartor Properties. Welcome back to Beyond the Split, the podcast where we talk about real estate, real life, and what it really takes to build a business that lasts beyond the commission check. Today's guest is Bill Sartor. He's an associate broker, a business owner, and the founder of Sartor Properties right here in Tucson, Arizona. Yes. He's also an agent here at Home Smart Advantage Group, one of our very best. Now, Bill's journey is a true second act story. He maybe even a third act. He spent 20 years in corporate America with Baxter Scientific, and then he went on to buy and scale a dry cleaning business from 12 employees to 51 people across 15 locations in Tucson, Arizona. Crown Cleaners. After that, he bought the same business discipline into real estate, where he's been serving clients since 2005. He's originally from El Paso. Correct me if I'm wrong with any of this data. El Paso High School. He went to the original OG high school, and he brings a West Texas work ethic and a no-nonsense approach and a strong family foundation to everything he does. He's been married since 2005. He has 2 daughters and 2 grandchildren, and he's built his real estate career around independence, integrity, and long-term relationships. Today we're going to talk about business lessons that carry over into real estate and what independence really looks like as an agent, and how experience outside this industry can become a serious advantage. This is Beyond the Split, and this one's for anyone thinking about what's possible in their second act. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Bill Sartor, how are you, sir?
Doing super.
Good
to be with you.
So happy to have you here. Thank you for coming and making a show on this with us. We know you're a very busy person, and I know that you've been working on your real estate business and your rentals, and you have a number of rentals. Is that right? That's is that your primary business, or is that just kind of the side business, or how do you have that going on?
I guess some people would call it a side hustle.
Yeah, it's your side hustle.
So I have 2 side hustles. I do the real estate business, and then I also manage my properties, and I have about 15 employees at the present time.
Dang, Bill. I feel bad now that I make fun of you all the time. You straight up man.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
I know. So you've had a real estate business journey, a corporate life, and you've owned and scaled dry a cleaning empire, and now you're doing real estate. What originally pulled you into real estate back in 2005 and made you say, yeah, this is the long game for me?
Well, it's one of those serendipitous things, I believe, that accomplished for what I'm doing now. When I was working for the company and selling laboratories and setting them up in Tucson, I ran into some opportunities where I could also sell some equipment, and I had to do something with the money. And, I looked around and I thought, well, what can I do with the money that might not interfere with my current job working for the scientific side? And I hit upon buying apartments. So I started buying apartments and back in the 70s. And of course, we know 2 things that build an empire is a compounding interest. That's what Einstein said. He said, a lot of people aren't aware of it, but compound interest is a very important facet in a business. And so I started doing that, and, now I have XX number of apartments now, and they're all paid for, and of course they've appreciated greatly.
That's fantastic. I've been to your house, so I can attest to the fact that you are right. Now, you spent 20 years with Baxter Scientific, and then you grew Crown Cleaners from 12 people to 51 people, and that was across 15 locations. What business lesson from outside of real estate still shows up in how you negotiate, you price, you run your deals today?
Well, learning and running businesses are one important thing that you have to remember, and that is you have to keep learning. And the other thing is reading books, and the books that you read, plus having a valuable coach. So I have a coach in my real estate business, and she's excellent. And, it just has two people now, myself and my coach, giving me feedback, which is very important in real estate business because it's constantly changing. I mean, we can take a look at what's happened recently in the real estate world.
Right.
And it still scares me to see that things pretty much, you can make mistakes, but if you persevere, then things will turn out.
That's right. You stay in the game. Yeah.
So we know you're from West Texas, right? We got that right?
Yes. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. We moved to El Paso, Texas in 1950.
Can you explain your link to Bad News Barnes and Texas Western?
Yeah. My brother and I both are graduates of University of Texas, but it was properly known as Texas Western. Mm-hmm. And it was a small community college. And we got opportunities where we got to work with some of the members of the teams and help them with their getting through college. Mm-hmm. But we learned a lot because the basic input of college is to prove that you can learn and move forward. And that's basically what opportunities you got.
Yeah.
And we took advantage of them.
That's awesome. How did that shape into who you are today?
Well, basically, I have had 3-4 great mentors in my life. And the first one is my mother, and I got my ethics from her. The second mentor I had was my dad, and I got my work ethic from him. And then also when we would every Sunday go to church at Trinity Methodist Church, I ran into my third mentor, and he was a great guy. And then I also, when I was graduating, my dad worked for a company called Retail Credit Company, Equifax, and I met my fourth mentor. And both of them took a shine to me. I don't know why. But they occasionally, and I meant very unoccasionally, I'd go out and have lunch with them. And Willie Farrer was one of them, and he owned a company called Farrer Slacks in El Paso, Texas. And he was looking for somebody to walk up and down the line where he would send buses over to Juarez, and they would pick up women. And he had a very long industrial building on the freeway in El Paso, Texas, and they sold slacks and coats and pants and stuff. And that was one of the mentors I was looking over. The other fellow was Fred Hervey, and Fred Hervey, I met him when I was 8 years old, and I'd go up the back steps at Trinity Methodist Church, and where my parents would meet in their Sunday school class, and hook a donut and a cup of coffee. And that's where I ran into Fred Hervey. And one time my parents were talking to him when I was 8 years old. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, "Mr. Hervey, I'd like to sure have a great chocolate shake," because I knew he owned a restaurant across the street. And, of course, my parents kind of backed up and didn't know me there for a while. And so he looked at me, and he says, "Bill, why don't you take your brother and your mom, Nita and Tom, and I'll meet you over at the Roundup," which was the name of this restaurant. And I had the best doggone chocolate shake because we went over with him. And Fred's history is a little bit different. He was a great imagination, a great worker. And what he did is back in the 50s, he bought a couple of stores that sold cheese and bread and beer. And basically, when he bought it from a guy by the name of Kays, Kays. And so on escrow, and everyone's familiar with escrow, Fred was asked by Mr. Kays, he said, "Well, I'll sell you my name, the signs, for an extra $500. And Fred said, "No." He says, "I've thought about it. I'll meet you at store number 1. So they met at store number 1, and Mr. K says, "All right, Fred, take the sign down." And Fred said, "No, I got an idea." So he got a ladder and leaned it up against the sign and took white paint and painted out the A, the Y, and the S, and put a red circle of paint around the K.
No.
Wow.
And any of you that are paying attention, and you can look this up both places if you'd like on the internet, that was the beginning of Circle K's.
That is an amazing story.
And Fred was very helpful because when I got married, when I was 18 years old, I called my dad up and I says, well, I got a wife and 3 kids, and I was already working 2 jobs. And my dad said, well, why don't you call Fred? And so I called Circle K's, and I said, I'd like to speak to Fred. And they said, well, who are you? And of course I said, well, I'm Bill Sartor. And they said, well, we don't know if he's here, but we'll put you on hold. So they put me on hold, and about 2 minutes later, Fred picks up the phone. He says, hey, Bill, what can I do for you? And I said, I need a job, Fred. And he says, come on down. I'll put you to work today. So I went down, and I finished up working for Circle K's, being the third man on the totem pole, mopping the floors and cleaning all the refrigerators and stuff like that. And that's what helped me get through college, was the job with Fred Hervey. So anyway,
awesome.
These are the 4 great people in my life, and that's probably one of the reasons why I am where I am today.
Is that right?
And
how did you survive high school? I heard that was the original OG. You don't look like the OG type. I don't know, but sometimes people kind of age out of it. What are you going to tell me about that?
Well, high school, I was a horrible student. Absolutely horrible. I tell you, I'd sit by myself and out there by the bleachers and wonder, what in the heck am I doing trying to learn something? But over a period of time, I realized that's what books are for.
Yeah.
And the more you educate yourself, and even today, I still try to read a book a month and put in practice what I've learned. And of course, I'm very fortunate. I've got a great real estate coach, Barbara. And here again, you do much better if you want to go. If you really want to go far, you go with somebody that'll help you. And that's why I have today a real estate coach.
That is awesome. That is amazing. Now, you've been married since 2005 with your current wife, and you have 2 daughters and 2 grandchildren. Hey, would you say that your family has changed the way you define success in real estate, especially after 2 decades doing this kind of work?
Well, both of us actually know and understand that real estate is a living item in our life, and it does change. I mean, look at the things we've already gone through. And that's basically, it's going to continually keep changing because we're dealing with human beings. And unfortunately, what worked last year doesn't work this year.
Yeah.
And so it's always a constant learning process, and you have to take advantage of learning from others and learning from what you read.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Now, you run your own brand, Sartor Properties, and you operate as an associate broker. What does independence really mean to you at this stage of your career? And was you, like Circle K, is owning your own brand non-negotiable, or is that just kind of what you ended up naming your properties?
Well, I named my properties because I wanted to have some identification with them. So basically, I put my name on it because, just like I've been told, you've got to be willing to put your name on it if you're going to do a good job.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Let people know. It's not perfect, but it works pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. What should experienced agents understand about brokerage models, in your opinion, before they choose where to hang their license?
Well, the thing is, it's each of these different companies, and God knows there's a lot of them out there, all the different real estate companies that you can join. And you look for the people because basically it's a people business. Mm-hmm. And so if you can find people of like nature and thoughts and functions, then that's the company that you should go with. Fair
enough. So you're like, try to find where you fit in with the people that you like being around, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, that's very correct.
If someone is listening to this and they're coming from another industry, a corporate job or small business or maybe even entrepreneurs already, and they're thinking about real estate, what's the one mind shift, in your opinion, that they need to make immediately to survive and then thrive?
Well, I think here again, it's the people that you pick to work with. And I think that's because if you're a newbie in the business, there's so many different things that you should immediately learn. And then it's a continual process of improving on those items and making sure that they're working.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
No overthinking, just shoot them. West Texas or Southern Arizona?
Well, I like Southern Arizona, quite frankly.
That's a good answer.
Because it's kind of my type of people. Plus, the thing is, we don't have the blowing sand like they have down in El Paso, Texas.
That's true. I love that. First job ever?
First job ever. Well, I tell you, I was a rainbow braid man, and that was a job. I still get up at 4:30 in the morning now because of that.
A rainbow braid?
Bread man.
Oh, bread. Oh, got it.
I was a panadero.
A panadero.
So, and of course, if you could find people in the other company that you could trade bread for cookies or something, you'd do that. So it was a lot of fun.
Wow. And what's one thing El Paso taught you that real estate can never teach you?
Well, El Paso, I tell you, you just got to be careful of who you work with.
Real estate will teach you that too.
Yes.
All right, coffee or sweet tea?
Oh, I tell you, I like coffee, but only 1 or 2 cups.
Yeah, that's true.
But the coffee I drink has mushrooms in it, so that's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that. Is that your phone? Because your phone is louder than my phone. Mr. Sartor, I thought we told you to leave that outside in the black bag.
No, it's all
the
now.
box there. Yeah. All right. Best business decision you've ever made, and give me one that's real estate and one that's non-real estate.
Well, best decision would be my wife.
Fabulous.
And the real estate one, it was unbeknownst to me buying all these properties because I never realized that Einstein was right. Compounded interest always wins because you can think about when you bought something in the 70s and what it's worth now. So, yes, real estate.
And then what's one word to describe your approach to clients?
My approach to I guess the best thing to do is to be straightforward with them and let them know what to expect. I think that's what I like to do.
Beautiful.
That's great. And then for agents who want more control, more ownership, less noise, what should they be looking for in a brokerage if they want to build something that lasts, like your business and your success?
Well, there's a lot of good principles out there. And I think if you follow in, I know this isn't a religious meeting here, but the commandments are the one if you'll follow those. And I think that's it.
You just stick to the basics.
Just the basics.
The basic 10. Nice.
That's right.
We appreciate that.
You can always depend on the basics.
You warm in my heart, sir.
Amen.
Hey. Well, that, my friends, is Bill Sartor. He's a business owner, a broker, a family man, and proof that real estate is a second act business, third act business if you do it right. If this episode hit home, share it with someone who's thinking about making the jump. This is Beyond the Split, where we talk real estate, real life, and how people really make it work. Luke, thank you. Bill,
guys,
you the man. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Luke.
Holy moly.
Thank you, Big
Thank
G.
you.
Thank you.
Always.